Happy Hump Day. Good morning, everybody. We made it halfway through the week. Let's see who came into chat this morning. I'm an hour early. I get it. I promise we're going to be back to our regular schedule soon. It just seems like I've been hit with one thing after another, whether it's not being home for a couple of days, or like yesterday I had an appointment. Today I'm early because we have to have the house sprayed for ants. It is summertime in Oklahoma, and any varmint that wants a drink of water will find a way to get it, and it will drive you crazy. So got to have that done today. They told me between 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Kind of reminds me of the Cable Man, where you have to take off the entire day just for them to come in and adjust one thing. And I explained yesterday, I said, look, if a surgeon knows what time they're going to put me under and cut me open, can you not tell me what time the bug man's going to be here to spray my doors and windows? That seems a little ridiculous, but that's the world we live in. Let's see who's here. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning. And Shannon said, welcome to Courtney Magnuson. I did see Courtney in here yesterday, so welcome, Courtney. Good morning, Uli girl. Hello, Connie. Sunshine Cowgirl. Nubian's back. Good morning, Nubian. Just me, Juicy Tequila Bobo. I had to track her down a few weeks ago, so she knows to be here for roll call. I love it because she knows I'll track her down again. Chris Melcher, good morning. How are you? Nisa, be a shiner. How are you? Happy Haggis. Hello. Celeste, where you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Maureen. Katrina. Sending you good karma. I need some. Thank you. DT Driver. Brooke, good morning. And she said, good morning, Brooks. We about have the same name. Katie Bird, Big T. Hope everyone's having a great morning. This is going to be a two-part show. I did a lot of thinking over some comments I've seen, which are no big deal, as long as people are still talking about Summer Wells and the case doesn't just go flat. It's good to think outside the box, and we're still talking about theories and speculation, what could have happened. I just wanted to revisit what I consider to be the crime scene, and that's the house. I know a lot of other things go on in this case that I don't really see relatable to Summer. I mean, as you know, I don't discuss 9 out of 10 of them, to be quite honest. It's never triggered me to go live to discuss Jody Sue getting her groove on or her heavy flow, if you know what I mean. That doesn't really pique my interest. If I ever do start doing that, someone call Tulsa, Oklahoma and request a 411 because I will need my brain checked. Let's bring up our friend Kat, who doesn't need her brain check. She was actually keeping me in check yesterday. I didn't even know what time of day it was. I kept telling everyone good morning, and it was afternoon. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning. Well, it is afternoon here, but good morning. I won't confuse you, see. And don't worry, if you ever get like that, I'll take you to task immediately.
You're going to have to. You know what? Just to mess with you one day, I think I might put a thumbnail up and say, Jody got her period.
It's Shark Week round the...
It's Shark Week. Now, we have been discussing Shark Week and the lack of love Jody gets during Shark Week in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, which has actually been a lot of fun.
Very entertaining.
Ronnie Lawson, yes, I will put the link up in a minute. We'd love to know who you really are because we know you're not the sheriff. But thanks for trying to get everybody riled up this morning. Hang on, I gotta let my cat out.
Can you imagine Ronnie Lawson just turning up in random chat rooms on YouTube and just going on panels and starting talking?
I'm 100% for it. I've got a lot of questions. We were even talking right before the show. Okay, so yesterday, guys, did a show about Michael Vaughn, Little Monkey, and we went through the press conference. I'm going to do it again because a lot of stuff stuck out at me that I didn't want to say during the show. I wanted to think about it and process it first. which is kind of outside the norm for me, but
Mhm.
I was trying to keep it inside yesterday. And I was telling Kat before the show that I really wish TBI and Hawkins County would put together a thorough press conference for
Yeah.
summer the way that Fruitland, Idaho did for Monkey. Because
Yeah.
now it brought a lot of questions up, but it answered a lot.
Absolutely. I think, like I said to you before the show, I think I came away with a completely different feeling after the Michael Vaughan press conference than I did after a year of summer when they did the press conference. I came away from that one feeling really disillusioned, and it was just kind of flat, and there wasn't really anything to get, to grab onto or to hope for. But the Michael Vaughan press conference was full of hope. It was full of information. It was full of things to dissect and talk about and try to understand. Like, it was complete parallel, like polar opposites from each other. It's a shame.
I think it's the lack of hope
Mhm.
in summers.
Mhm.
And when I say that, I'm not trying to bring anyone down. When
No.
I was
Okay.
listening to the press conference for Monkey, he said several times, steps were taken to bring him home.
Yeah.
Home, home, home. You don't hear that in Summer Wells. We need credible tips because we want this thing solved. Everyone's a suspect. It's very dark. And
Yeah.
while
Really.
we keep things lighthearted here, and we joke and stuff like that. I mean, yesterday I got a lot of comments about me calling Grandis Camper Queen. We have to keep it light because we're talking about the most heinous that the
Yeah.
world has ever produced, and that is crimes against children.
Exactly. You can't get around that. You can't get away from that, unfortunately.
And that is the elephant in the room. So we never forget that. We are never trying to be disrespectful in any case, but on the same token, we have to keep it as light as possible and keep our focus where it belongs. And that is on Summer Wells and the crime scene, which is her home.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, that is my opinion. If you guys think something happened somewhere else, say at the swim hole or in the truck on the way home, I've heard something happen at Allie's house, and that's the reason Allie is so defensive. I've heard all these, I love to hear everyone's theories and opinions. It is just mine.
Mhm.
And I believe that the last place that Summer saw, I don't believe that she died there, was at the house. The reason I don't believe she died at the house is because the dogs picked up no scent of decomp. They didn't impound any of the vehicles.
Mhm.
So that tells me that she was alive on that property and was removed sometime during the afternoon. That's just what it tells me. We don't have to agree. But you can grab the link anytime because I would love to hear your theory, what you think happened. That's what we do here, right?
Yeah. I've always sort of had the opinion that I'm still not convinced that she even made it home that afternoon from the swim hole. But like you said, we can consider different theories and opinions and talk about it here because it's, open to that.
Absolutely. And that's what we do. And I've said before, I mean, I've gone back and forth.
Mhm.
And I've said, I wonder if she even made it back home.
Mhm.
Then I was going back through an interview of McDonough's, not the original, but where he was saying, I'm not giving up on that property yet. I'm not giving up on that house. And the more I thought about it, and I think about what Don and Candace have told us all along.
Yeah.
Some bad guy grabbed her out of that basement. They keep saying it.
Mhm.
Obviously, they're not going to tell us who the bad guy is.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, when you look at the area that the TBI have searched several times, or the areas that have been searched, they're not that far away from that property. And they searched the same areas sort of over and over again. So it kind of suggests that something happened in or close to the property. And that's where she is now, or was.
Exactly. And that's why I'm going to do this in two parts, because I think there was a lot more going on at that house, not just on the 15th, but leading up to. That'll be a totally different show.
Yeah.
Because something like this didn't just happen that day on a whim.
No, absolutely not.
All right. You want to do some comments from the last show?
Love to do some comments. I love to
Let's do
comment.
some comments. And got to hear that video. All right. So we spoke about the letter on Monday. I mentioned that as much as A.F. Pennington has a beautiful voice, I'd like to hear some Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Chimed in and gave me other ideas.
Okay.
This was the winner. This was the winner. Tacy Day, narrated by Billy Bob Thornton in the Carl voice.
Wow. Wow. Ambitious, but yeah, brilliant.
I think Billy Bob would take it. I think that if somebody got a hold of Billy Bob Thornton and explained the case of Summer Wells, I don't think he would have any problem with that.
Yeah, I think he'd snap that up, that opportunity.
Hang on. FBI, I'm going to put this on the screen. Has Andrew Hiltz met Summer Wells? According to him, no. According to him, no. Maura said Brooks, thinking about Grandis and the camper. So she does not have use of the toilet in the camper. She's a hoarder. The toilet is used for storage. So where has she been using the toilet shower facilities while on the property? Well, what we've heard is she would go back and forth between the camper and the house, and that she actually lived in the house when Dawn was in Utah. I don't care where Grandis goes to the bathroom. The only reason this question is important is because it's not little old Grandis sitting in the camper oblivious to what's going on. She had full access to the house. She knew the condition of the house. She knew the condition of her grandchildren, and she knew of any abuse if it was going on because she was in and out. She knew. She couldn't have not seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, she witnessed it on a regular basis.
You could not see it.
No. Well, we saw it. Even we saw it.
Yeah, and I don't even live there. But if the excuse is that Grandis had no idea what was going on because she just stayed to herself in her camper, like Maura's saying, well, then where'd she go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
That camper was just stacked full of stuff. She's a hoarder. She's a hoarder just like Candace. Candace can't throw anything away.
She spent time in that house. We've seen pictures of her in the house drinking with Candace and Jose and other people at the house.
Hang on, I gotta clean my glasses. I don't know how they get so fogged up. Well, probably because it was 104 here yesterday. It's 85 right now. Okay. Robin said, I find it interesting that Tim seems to only be fighting for Dawn. I find that odd too. Candace isn't in jail. He could have full access to Candace. He has her phone number. He knows people that know Candace. What is his obsession with Dawn? Dawn's in jail.
Yeah, especially as when he first came on the scene, he was saying how the minute he laid eyes on Candace holding that banner for Summer, he went over and touched her on the shoulder and felt her pain and all of this kind of stuff. You would think that his connection would be with Candace. Well, I would, after he said all of that. But no, they're right. He does just focus on Dawn, and I don't get it either.
And that's even after Candace, I can't remember if she was talking to Benny or talking to Cam, but she blasted it on one of those channels and said that Dawn doesn't even like Tim. He thinks Tim's a dumbass. He's a big nerd.
Yeah.
He doesn't like him. I guess he never got that message.
Yeah, maybe he didn't get that memo. I mean, to be fair, any port in a storm, and if Tim's the only one that's actually talking to Don at the moment or close with him, then Don's pretty much got no other choice or no other kind of backup, I guess, apart from his lawyers or 7 alibis and a Starlink or something. Tim's the only one that's got his, Tim's the only one that,
Don used to brag quite a bit about how he was in communication with TBI. Well, I mean, he's got all the time in the world right now. He's got 23 hours a day. I think now would be a really good time if Tim wants to be a friend to his human boss and help Summer out, to tell human boss that, hey, Today's a good day to call the TBI.
Right. Call the TBI before your end of your season in jail, as Tim called it. And there might be a chance that you don't spend another season in jail.
And let's face it, they're not going to make him use money on his books to call him. They're going to say, this one's on me, buddy.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen. We're even going to have a proper lunch for you while you talk to him.
Absolutely.
No ramen noodles for you and toilet hooch today. We got this covered.
Yeah.
One second. All right. So there's been a lot of questions about the property. The property's been talked about for a year. Izzy said, I thought it was said Don was not allowed to sell the property in his mother's will. I don't know anything about real estate laws in Tennessee. I do know that his mom has no claim to the property because she's deceased. As far as him and Candace and how long they've been married, and if she could get the land, I don't know. People say, no, can't happen. They haven't been married long enough. It was inherited property. I've heard that many, many times in my real life. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of shit goes down when you get in front of a judge and you got two lawyers going at it.
Yeah.
So don't ever count Candace out that she has no stake in where she's been living all that time.
Right. I mean, they are married ultimately at the end of the day. I don't know about communal property laws in America, but I know here that would mean that if the property could be sold, then the money would be split. Regardless of who actually owns it, the fact that they're married makes it community property.
Well, see, and we have that law here too. If you inherit property, you inherit land or whatever. We have family land here. I have, a couple of relatives that have gotten divorced. And even though it's inherited property, and we have similar laws to Tennessee and Arkansas is the same way, they had to buy their wives out.
Yeah.
So don't think that Candace just walks away with the duffel bag. There are laws to protect Candace. As bad as it sucks, there are. Amanda said DoorDash or Uber will not hire them. They do background checks. Would you eat food that had been in that smoke-filled car? Yes. I'm bringing this up, Amanda, because I was in the middle of preparing a DoorDash order last night, and I instantly canceled it. So thank you. I had peanut butter and jelly last night.
And if DoorDash are advertising with us, we'd like to apologize.
Yes, no. Angela said, I just thought maybe Dawn plans to sell the house and land. This could be. Okay, so she goes on. Oh, she wants Donald Sutherland also to narrate the next letter. I love that. Okay. All right, so a lot of people are bringing up the sale of the land, and Dawn's talking about employment and things like that. So I had another comment, but it was emailed to me. And they said, what if Tim is staying in his good graces and he's going to orchestrate the sale of this land when Dawn gets out? That I would not doubt for a minute. Tim's got to get something out of this, guys.
Okay. He's not doing this out of the goodness of his heart, is he?
No. And just think about that. The only person that's stuck by Dawn's side while he's sitting in jail is Tim. That's his human boss.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's told him Candace is not there. Candace has downloaded dating apps. Candace has had other men at the property.
Yep.
Candace is not trying to reunify with the boys. You have nothing to go back to, Dawn. Why don't you get a clean start? Why don't you sell that property, go somewhere else where people don't know you?
Right.
It wouldn't take nothing but a Google search, but still, you're not in that community. I could see Tim trying to orchestrate something like that. He's got to get something out of it.
He really does, because, for all that he says that Don's his human boss and they've got a daughter missing and blah, 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 blah. He doesn't care about their missing daughter. He's not doing this. His motivation is not about Summer. His motivation is about, well, to me, is financial. And the best way to get financial from Don is the property. It's the only financial thing they have.
Yeah, Don can't trade him tennis shoes or ramen noodles. Tim's not concerned with it.
Exactly.
He can get his own.
Yeah.
He's hanging on. This guy is clutched on. He doesn't talk to YouTube creators. We've seen JLR go to, I think it's his mom's house. Maybe it's his. I don't know. It's not like people aren't trying to talk to him and find him. He's not interested in that. He's
No.
got an end game, and that end game is not finding Summer Wells and putting an
No.
end to all this. Because if he was really concerned with that, he would be talking to Human Boss on a different level. He would
Exactly.
be, I mean, Don is isolated. He's got no one to talk to. He could easily say, it's time to put an end to this, man. Whatever you know, whatever she told you from that day, if it changed, even if she said she doesn't remember something, you've got to tell him.
Exactly. And the fact that he isn't doing that, or he doesn't perceive to be doing that, at least by the way that he's speaking and carrying on about Don, all of this business of don't judge his letters and all of this rubbish, means to me that he's facilitating and enabling something that will happen in the future with Don.
In the future, it's like he's courting him in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
exactly
exactly
what people said to me. That letter was added to, it was edited, like Don sitting there wringing his hands over Summer's education. No.
Not at all. Tim doesn't really have any care for Summer, in my opinion. He's never shown 1 ounce or regard of care for Summer, even proved by the way that he started a website and a Facebook group, YouTube channel called Don Wells Family Official. Who's the most important person in that sentence, in that title? Don Wells Family Official.
He's got to stay. Don holds all the cards, and those cards happen to be whatever shape it's in, whatever it's worth. It's worth something.
Right.
Land, he's going to have to convince Don you can't go back to.
No.
Think about it, Don. That house is a wreckage now. Electricity hasn't been on. Water hasn't been turned on. There's varmints everywhere. I mean, there's Johnson grass up to your eyes. Let's just sell it and let's just move on. Exactly. And I can see Tim being the one to orchestrate that for a fee.
Oh, for a fee. Well, that's the only reason, in my opinion, he's hanging on in there. Is because he's got a plan for a fee at the end of all of this, for sure. He didn't do it out of the goodness of his heart, and he didn't do it for Summer. So there's another reason why he's hanging around and why he's hanging on. And he knows there's money in that property and on that land. He's not stupid. I mean, well, he's, a bit ignorant, but he's not stupid. He knows where the money is in this whole situation, and it's on that land and in that property.
Yeah, S said he thinks Tim is covering for Don. He would have to. He needs his Human Boss.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Now, I don't think Don is stupid enough to sit in jail and tell him of anything of any substance, because everything's recorded. Somebody would have already nabbed that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that would have been a... Yeah, I don't think... I just think that Tim is a hanger-on, and he's clinging on to the fact that when Don gets out of jail, he's in full control of whatever happens afterwards. It's not going to be Don that's in control of what his life is like.
That rings a bell. Think about what you just said. That was genius. I wish you would have said it before the show. I would have taken credit for it. He's got to be in control. Tim has got to establish trust with Human Boss. So that way, when Human Boss is out, who's been there for you the whole time, Don?
Yeah.
Me.
Exactly.
Your faithful employee, your disciple, your servant.
Yep. You're
my Jesus. I'm your Paul.
My ride or die. Yep, exactly. And that will be how he uses it, I think, to manipulate the situation as Don comes out of jail. Whatever happens, it will be because Tim is controlling it.
Now, the question is, can you control Don? Would Don sell that property, even a portion of it? He's going to need some money. That is for sure. That is for sure. He's going to need some money. He could do side work and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Anybody in here that's local needs something done? Don will be out in a couple of months. The question is, would Don do it, though? I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends how desperate he's feeling, because it was quite interesting in that letter that supposedly Don wrote. We can't get jobs, we have no chance of employment, etc., etc., etc. But Tim's sitting there writing this letter knowing full well that when he comes out, if he starts to support Don financially, you know, that's another way of manipulating it, isn't it? Oh, don't worry about that. No, I've got you. You know, I'll put a bit of money in for that. We'll sort that out. You know, he just takes control of the whole thing by supporting him financially, even if it's only for a little while. And then he just gets under more and more under his skin. It's like he's playing the long game of how to get the money in the end of the day, is to take control of Don and his finances. And all of this kind of stuff, I believe, will become evident when he gets out of jail, that Tim Mullen's more in control of this than we ever thought he probably was.
I think so too, because I dismissed Tim very early on. I'm like, this guy is an idiot. I don't know what the hell he's doing. That was me being a dumbass, really. Then here comes the website. Then here comes the website that a fourth grader could have made. And I'm like, are we supposed to be impressed with this? Because I mean, if I can do it, come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I seriously just learned how to make thumbnails a few months ago. Aren't you impressed, Kat? Look at that.
I really are. You're doing great, Brooks. You're doing great.
AF Pennington's got nothing on me. Look at that. S said, interesting. Tim got Don's phone and backed it up for him. See, we got to start putting all this together.
Little
Tim
favors.
is a much bigger player in this.
Yep.
And the more I've been thinking about it, which is a dangerous thing the last few days, the more irritated I'm getting with that man, especially when I found out, not being protective or anything, that he reached out to the family of Michael Vaughn. And I'm like, what is he trying to do here? Is he trying to start like a business? I can't figure this out, what he would want to do with them. There's no connection to Summer. One child, the authorities say, was abducted. The other one wasn't. So
well, look at his job title. He's a inverted commas media manager. What does that mean? Does that mean that he's setting people up with media connections so that when they get out of jail after a DUI, they can get a book deal or a Netflix contract or something? What is a media manager? It seems to me like he's using that title to kind of make promises or kind of lead people in the direction of, oh, don't worry, you know, we'll get you a Netflix deal. We'll get you a contract with a film company or something. He doesn't seem to have any connections. This is almost like a what's her name? Pam person, the Pam woman.
Pam Hupp?
Pam Hupp, yeah. It's sort of like a manipulation tactic to try to convince people that you are one thing, when in actual fact you're playing underneath the surface to manipulate the financial outcome of the situation. If Don believes he's going to get
that's it, because if he's the media manager, and now my brain's really ticking, and this becomes a Hulu series, or they do get the Netflix deal that Don was talking about, a book is written. Now, mind you, you cannot profit from your crimes, but Tim can.
Tim can, exactly. And if Tim knows, yeah, exactly. Tim's steering this whole thing in terms of, how can I make money? So if you put money at the bottom line, how is this going to benefit me? You can kind of see that if he's trying to get in touch with Michael Vaughn's family as well, is because he sees something, a way there that he can manipulate. And if it is by promising book deals and media contracts or media manager type things, then people in vulnerable situations are going to think to themselves, oh, that, you know, that sounds like it might be a good idea. And then they jump on and jump with them. But in actual fact, they're the ones that are going to end up making the money, not you, not the victims, sort of thing.
No, you can't. I can't think of any state. If you guys know of one, let me know. That any criminal can profit from their crimes. It reminds me of, before I get to the whole reason for the show, what's her name? Sherilyn, something like that. And she wrote that book, Letters from Chris. She was forced to Chris Watts in jail, and she wrote a book.
Right.
It's a stupid book. It's a really stupid book, if you really want the truth. I mean, he could have taken something from her playlist.
Yeah.
I've been having these secret conversations with Don that I don't speak to anybody about.
Right.
There's an end game there, guys. There is.
Yeah.
Hello, Emma. Emma goes, hi, guys.
Morning, hon, or afternoon.
So we'll get more into that, because now I'm really going crazy with this. Okay. So, like I said, I want to go back to basics. Beyond the TBIs, press conferences, Dawn's early conversations with Rogersville Review, but what really sailed it home for most people, because as you remember, about this time last year, a little earlier, people were either, it was a very divided line. It was either these parents had something to do with this, or it was leave them alone. What changed the trajectory was the McDonough interviews.
Yeah.
Talking to Hunter, Allie, and Granbun was one thing. The swim hole scene, Candace being, as you said earlier, like Dr. Phil said, Candace being hit with trigger after trigger after trigger didn't really seem to do anything. No. When we saw the house, that changed everything. Whatever side you were on, it changed it.
It definitely did for me. Not that I particularly had a side before the Chris McDonough video, but I think what happened was when I watched it, I think it really brought home some of the things that I'd questioned about, and it really sort of settled in for me that this was a reality for those children in that home. This is who their, this is who their mother is. This is what their environment was like. This is what their conditions were. I mean, it solidified it for me, I guess.
My first few shows I did about Summer, trolling. Yes, I was trolling Candace's many profiles. I could see something wasn't good in the hood. Didn't have the full picture, and still don't, because I haven't been there in person, until the McDonough interview with the dungeon and the house came out. Yeah. Now, I'm not a fangirl, okay? I'm not in love with Chris. I know some people have said, well, you got a crush on Chris McDonough. Yeah, I want Karen out of the way, and I'm going to adopt Dylan. Come on. I'm going to walk the dog the whole 9 yards. No, I respect the work he did there. You cannot like one thing somebody does and respect the hell out of something else. Not everything has to be 100%. Exactly. So he gets a lot of love. He gets a lot of hate. But when you come to this interview where he is up on that hill, it changed everything in the case of Summer Wells for me.
Yep. Yeah, it was pivotal, I think.
Especially, it'd been one thing if it was him by himself looking around and her like, yeah, look around, I'll be inside. But he had Mom Patrol with him.
Mom Patrol. Oh, I think that kind of gone down in history like a bucket of sick, hasn't it, really?
Piss poor shirt. But anyway, Maura, welcome. Maura, I just showcased one of your comments.
You did.
So I'm going to start that. Like I said, it's going to be a two-parter, guys. So anything that you pick up that we've missed, and I know we've seen this many times, please tell me in the comments in here or after the show for those of you that are catching this on the replay. Yeah. Patrol. I about shit and fell back in it when I saw that. I'm like, what? Where'd the rebel hat go? Yeah. But I think we actually had it on. Where's the Hanes tank top? Mom Patrol?
Mom Patrol, yeah.
God damn. All right, so before I get to it, and I'm not trying to reach too far, okay, guys? One of the first things that caught me was when they go to the house, besides the Red Barrel, a million barking dogs that Dawn said weren't there that day. They took the day off on the 15th, as we know. It's how overcast it was on the hill. Yet it's all sunny and everything when they're down at the water. It's almost like Summer wants him to see something. This was my reality.
Yeah. I think that happened as well. We did see her reality. But you're right. Just the conditions is very gloomy. Yeah. Gloomy.
Hold on one second. Emma with Crime Stories Obsessed is spreading more misinformation. She said the dogs first.
She's joking, by the way.
I know.
By the way, Emma's joking. I know you know, but I'm just saying, just because I know that that's going to be the subject of videos to come. Emma's joking.
I'm getting it out of the way now. Kat and I had the biggest laugh, well, at Kat's expense and Emma's. We said anyone that watches Crime Stories Obsessed or Kat's Chats, Crime and Coffee, watch some Monty Python first, because they
Right.
have a tongue-in-cheek humor that it seems that the Americans aren't getting.
Right. It kind of goes by the wayside sometimes. It's like tumbleweed. You say something like in a jokey kind of way, and it's like tumbleweed, and you're like, oh, come on, I was joking. And then people are like, oh, okay, oh, right, I thought you were being serious. Like,
Or they're like, oh, sure, you're joking now.
Right.
Because we
Right.
called out your lies.
Yeah.
We called out your lies.
God. Oh, it's so
It's hard not to
confusing.
laugh at it. And I really don't know how you guys take it.
It's just a culture shock, I think, for you guys, maybe, when we come out with something like, I hope Granda's got her camper back. I think it was a joke.
Yeah, you guys have got to check out Emma's community tab. A guy stole a camper in East Tennessee. It's a joke. And a couple people aren't getting the humor. I got it, and I pissed myself laughing. Could you imagine if that dude really stole that camper?
Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry.
The lies. You guys aren't even from here. Take your lies back over there.
Oh dear. Anyway, back to the conversation about
I like this one better. Okay, here we go. All right, here we hear the dogs. The dogs are back. This has always freaked me out. All right, so there's the camper. All right, there's stuff piled all around the camper. We've seen the inside of the camper just from, like, not in the McDonough interview, but just from different, like I said, Facebook pictures that are public. Nobody's hacking anyone. And it's just full of shit. It's just full of stuff. There might have been a place in there, obviously, for Sleeping Beauty to lay down and take a nap. The afternoon her daughter disappeared. Her granddaughter disappeared. So, I mean, that's why when people say, it's just for clicks and views, you're talking about the camper being gone. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's important. Exactly.
And she has removed personal property from the crime scene. I think it's a big deal. I was glad that he did the pan around, or Karen, whoever took the video. I think it was just him. No, it wasn't him. But anyway, whoever did that. So you could see the dense woods and everything, because there was a big question mark. Did she just wander off out in the woods? Now, mind you, this was just a month later. I think we've made our mind up about that now that we're almost 14 months in.
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
I'm really sorry to do this to you in the middle of a show, but I've just had a phone call and I need to leave. I'm really sorry. It's nothing serious. Please don't anyone worry. But I am going to have to jump down. I really seriously apologise to everyone watching, and I'm really sorry to you, Brooks. I will be back later, but I really need to go, like, right now.
Okay. Hey, let me know what's going on.
I will do. Yeah, I will do. But please carry on with the show. I'm really sorry. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye, hun.
Okay, hun.
All right. So he's panning around. And like I said, I was really glad. At the time, I didn't think about it, but for people that were like, she could have just wandered off. I mean, you're looking at these woods and everything. She could have. It was improbable, this time last year, but it's definitely, to me, very improbable now.
I have much more respect for what you're telling me by standing here, and I got my little camera here, so. But I'm looking at this terrain, and I'm going, holy cow! She could have even. there's a million possibilities here.
Yeah, there's
Down there, and there's the road down there.
Yeah, that's the road. That's my mom's house.
Okay.
Like literally, it's.
And this right here,
See, he even put a caption there, Grandma Candy's trailer. For some reason, he found that to be important. I'm not saying anything happened in the camper or anything like that. So again, I'm beating the dead horse for people to say, oh, it's not important that she took it. But it is. That's supposedly what she lived on their property. Why is it not important that it's gone now?
Usually you can see the road because they have went through here and mowed
Okay.
and took down a bunch of stuff away from the power lines.
okay.
But usually it's full up. You can't even see the road.
That day though, how was it? Was it full up or
They
was it like this?
actually, that day and a few days prior to that, they were working on this.
Okay.
So
And
I've even come to a conclusion maybe one of them people have snatched it.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were all.
Okay, so this is the first interview with McDonough. Well, I'd say the second one, but it's all, I guess, within the span of a day because she still has the mom patrol on. It was in the same day. So right there, she's already accusing someone else. Never, never, never do they say, you know, you look through all of here, you look at all of these woods, you look at this hill, you look at this creek, you can see our terrain. Like he said, I have much more respect. She could have easily said, you know, she could have wandered off. But no, now we're saying that somebody working around the property could have taken her. Blue, thank you. All the evidence is there.
All the way up here. on
Yeah,
my
I see
property.
those, the path down there. I see
Yeah.
the tracks down there.
Yep.
You over there.
And they were all the way up here to my light pole.
And real quick, I know I keep interrupting. Did you guys notice how Chris did not entertain her saying one of those guys could have taken her? He doesn't even say, really, who do you think? Did you see any of them? Did you happen to see what anybody that day was wearing? How many of them were there? Anything like that? He doesn't even entertain it.
Okay. And you told TBI all this,
I
right?
told TBI this, yes.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, I can see the cars going by. That is not far from your property.
Mm-mm.
Is there a holler down there? I mean, is there a river of some sort?
The creek runs all the way around the property.
And how deep is the creek? Okay, just so it's like an inch,
Yeah.
inch or two. Okay,
You'd be lucky to get wet enough to do anything.
okay. All right, so let's pick it up from where, and I'm going to just use this little one. Is that okay? Okay, so from where, when you got home, now
No,
she's
My
leaning.
mom's truck parks here.
Okay, your mom's truck's right here.
Yes.
Okay, so when she's leaning against the milk. Is she
Yes.
sleeping?
She was sleeping, yes.
Okay, from exhaustion from.
At this point, okay, so she said she's leaning against the milk from exhaustion. From what we gather now, the milk video wasn't taken that day. Do you guys think the milk video was taken that day? There are rumors, and they are nothing but rumors because it cannot be substantiated, that the milk video was actually posted back in April. I personally do not believe that because somebody would have blown that wide open by now. Law enforcement said to Ansley Daniels of WJHL, the last known video of Summer is from the swim hole. Why is Candace right there? Not that she's under oath. She's just talking to Chris McDonough. The only capacity he serves right now is just he's a YouTuber. He's a podcaster, a very good one. He knows what he's talking about. But she's sticking with that milk video was taken that day. Now I go back to when he was talking to Hunter. I thought Hunter was deflecting. Now I think Hunter doesn't know what he's talking about when he kept going, the milk, the milk, the milk. I don't think there was any damn milk that day. Because law enforcement told a reporter, an actual reporter, not someone sitting on their couch, an actual reporter, the last video was her at the swim hole.
From that day?
Yeah, she was. I woke her up early, and she usually sleeps until 9, 10, even 12 o'clock if I let her.
Okay. How did the milk bottles get rearranged? Hunter said he had them on the floor, and then he put them next to him.
They weren't.
Okay, she's confused. She's got to come up with an answer because he's asking specifics. S says you can't change the dates in the original photo video without leaving a trail of doing so. It shows in metadata. I keep hearing this word metadata. What software it was last modified. Is she smart enough to do this, though? Is this something Candace would know how to do? I don't know. I just keep going back to, which blew my mind because it changed the whole day for me when Ainsley Daniels said, this is the last video of summer, which is of the swim hole. Just like the Subaru didn't really make any sense to me anymore. And we were focused on the Subaru for so long when Granda said she went to the ER. This was not a planned appointment.
Is that true?
No.
Okay, so walk me through that.
When we dropped him off, they were actually still on his lap.
Okay,
And he put him on the other side of Summer.
okay. So he reached over?
Yeah, he set him over there by that. What's a black tote she had in there?
Okay, was there, where's that tote at?
I think actually my mom's got it still in her truck. It's got a bunch of crafts and stuff in it.
Okay, got it. And now from when you pulled up,
Hang on. What crafts does Grandis do? She's got a black tote in there. This back seat gets more full every time I hear this interview. We got Hunter, we got Summer, we got a ton of freaking milk, and now we had a black tote. The first time I caught her saying she has a bunch of crafts in there. All right, Grandis is crafty.
when did she just fall asleep next to that?
She fell asleep, I'd say maybe 5 minutes on the road.
Okay, got it. And then, so walk me through, you get home, you take the groceries inside. Is Don home, by the way?
No, he's
Okay,
not.
okay.
Actually, I parked the truck and I opened both doors. It's really hard because this lawnmower of his. But I opened the doors up and I shook her. I said, wake up, we're at home. She jumped right up
Okay.
like nothing. I unbuckled her and
She jumped right up like nothing. He didn't ask her, was Summer still sleepy or anything? Why did she volunteer to tell us how rambunctious Summer was? She jumped right up like nothing. What do you mean like nothing? What could have been going on, Candace? What do you mean? She jumped right up, okay, like nothing. I unbuckled. Well, she can't jump up if she's buckled in. So why is that a point?
I said, come on. I said, Mom, we'll be right back. Went in there and got the boys and they were sitting at the table. And I said, come on, let's get the groceries out. And we brought them all in the house, went through them all, did
And,
all that.
and this is that's her
That's her
swing.
swing right there.
Come show me her swing. Why is this, and who's this?
That is Smoking Boots. That's my boy's cat.
And how many dogs do you have here on the property? About.
Honestly, I don't know because people just keep dropping them off.
Hi. I know. Okay. Sorry. So this.
All right, you guys have caught a couple of things I want to talk about really quick. Yeah, Candace is trying to drive a point home. Just Samantha said, and Jose said that's a strong no because she's a hard sleeper. Summer was a very hard sleeper. Candace had just a few seconds ago told Chris sometimes she'd sleep till 9, 10, till noon. But that day, she jumped right up, like Candace says, like nothing. Oh, we got Shannon backstage. I just noticed. I'm sorry. Hello, Shannon.
Hello, Brooks. I thought I'd jump in if that was okay.
Absolutely, anytime. Anything else sticking out to this video for you now that we're watching it again? Like I said, it's going to be a two-parter. Her saying like nothing. He's not asking her shit, but she's volunteering information. It's like S said, when suspects try to play investigator, I get suspicious. I do too. She already volunteered to Chris. It could have been one of them guys that done it. Well, Chris doesn't even take the bait. He doesn't say
No.
Who, how many guys were there? Have you told TBI this?
No, she's trying to keep up with a script, and I like the way he talks to her as if they're friends. That helped 100%. So to these people that don't like Chris McDonough, just remember, we wouldn't have these videos and we wouldn't have this footage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad we do. And he wasn't taking that bait at all. He wasn't going down that avenue. He's smarter than that. And he would pull her back on track.
He did keep her on track. And unlike, I'm sorry, some people are big fans, the behavioral panel, I don't think they kept her on track. She wouldn't have been pulling wires off and jerking up the new jean jacket if they were keeping
Nope.
her on track.
Nope, they didn't. And I believe that was guilt finally kind of setting in. She is human. She does have a heart. It's probably, like the Grinch's heart, 20 sizes too small. But the guilt was getting to her. And I couldn't imagine being in that room and, just the questions. And she was crying for herself, not for Summer. Had nothing to do with Summer.
She's got a heart that pumps blood, but emotionally wise, she's got the same one as her mother. It's got
Exactly.
to do with her. We heard her with the behavioral panel. It's not helping me. I am so glad they did not cut that out. That was such an important thing. We will talk about that in weeks to come. When she said it's not helping me, she has no
Me.
empathy for
Yep.
anyone
Nope.
except herself. That's why she's thinking that this is a smart thing to do. It wasn't, Candace. It helps us immensely to have Chris up there. I'm going to show him. I'm going to show him. I'm going to tell him about the tree trimmers. I'm going to show him. So he's going to understand how easy it would be for someone to come up here and abduct Summer. What we see is the opposite. It would be next to impossible between the dogs, the terrain, the broad daylight, two adults at home that, well, I guess one was taking a nap, supposedly, 3 boys in the house. Come on.
This is her swing.
Yeah.
That's what's fun.
This is her playground.
Yep.
She loved this area. Boy, I'm looking at this, and this terrain, Candace, just strikes me as being so dense and just. Is that what they say, the dog trail? Where's this dog trail thing? That
I'm not sure, honestly.
there's so many of them.
The dogs go in every different
Yeah, I
place.
saw the dogs came out of the
Yeah,
woods as we were pulling up.
Yeah.
All right, so this is basically 6 weeks roughly from when Summer disappeared. He's asking specifically about the dog trail. At this point in time, Dawn had not leached onto that story and ran with it like he did later. She goes, I don't know exactly. The dogs just they got a bunch of trails, according to Candace. But now later we hear on Dr. Phil and to WVLT, there's one dog trail that they weren't aware of. See how things are changing.
Yeah, I kind of think there's a couple of trails, if I remember, and a lot of it's where the kids would walk down. Like I think there are mailboxes down there or close
I don't
to it,
know
or
specifically to
I don't know.
where it's at. I don't know.
Right.
We have seen videos on her TikTok of a trail where the boys are riding their motorbikes. So yes, there is a trail. There is a specific trail. It's worn down. We saw Dawn on WVLT trying to walk down it with a reporter that's saying it was very steep. But now she is sitting there saying, the dogs just kind of go. I don't know. See, so right there, she's telling a lie. She knows exactly what trail he's talking about.
Right.
Okay.
They do that all the time.
Okay.
That trail right there, my boys, they ride those dirt bikes that are leaning against the truck over there.
Okay.
You can see there's one of them.
Okay.
Okay, so she was specific about that trail. I always wonder when she mentions that one. Now, at first, she doesn't really know, but then she does what we're talking about because she has TikTok videos. I'm wondering if when she points that out, if that's the reason Dawn thought, okay, now I'm going to have to make a big deal out of this trail because she pointed it out. I don't know.
I'm going to agree with you on that. And like Chris said, a long time ago, after we all start coming out with our videos from him and discussing the case, he's going to follow along with what we're saying, to make us believers, I guess. He's going to follow along with what we're saying. And that's what I think he did.
He wants us to follow along with what Candace is saying?
No, what Chris said, that Dawn will start following along with what the crowd will start saying. Like,
Oh, he
all
did
the-
say that, and he was
Yeah,
100%
yeah.
right. He did say
yes.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. He did say that. And Don did.
And that's what he was doing. And he had to take that video.
And then,
Those are like 50 cc's, aren't they?
yeah,
the
that
old-
one ain't. I think it's only like 25. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, they go down that trail with their dirt bikes and then come back up on the road, up on the driveway, and go.
She knows specifics of the bike, but no specifics of the day her daughter disappeared. That's odd to me.
Around and stuff.
What was it about this swing that is just so important for her?
She liked it. She just liked to swing. All the kids did.
Now, I don't want to talk about.
Odd, she said all the kids did. So, I mean, that's her. Because at this point, the boys have been taken. The boys were with CPS.
And it was that day too, right?
Oh, no, it was before.
Oh, I thought it was that day. Okay.
Nope, it was before. But I mean, right there, that's kind of her, when she says all the kids did. Not do, all the kids do. So it's like, was Candace did she already have the reservation she wasn't getting her boys back? I don't know. Because she's using past tense with all her children. Not that the boys aren't alive. All the kids did. It's not all the kids do, thinking that 3 boys are going to come back there.
About the boys right now, because I know that's, a tough another part of your heart. Okay. And that's none of my business.
Right.
I'm not here for any, you know what I mean? I'm not here to judge anybody. Right. I'm here to talk about Summer and help you find Summer. Okay. And help anybody find her. Okay. That messaging. Okay. So you go into the house.
Go in the house.
Can I follow you in, or you comfortable with that?
Nope.
Huh?
I don't know what the dogs do. It's still the cat food.
And is this they're gonna attack me?
No.
Oh, I was just I'm teasing you. The dog's gonna attack me. So this is the scaffolding you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my.
Okay, so she comes up, jumps up, and goes right in.
Yep.
Okay. How many cats? You know what? You should have like a zoo license. You know, I'm seeing all kinds of critters, which is good. Okay, where's Summer's bed?
Oh, it's in the basement.
Got it. Okay. So what happens when she comes in?
When she said that, he goes, "Where's Summer's bed?" "Oh, it's in the basement." I was like, "What?" And that was the first time.
Yeah.
It's in the basement. Who would even refer to a bedroom as a basement? Wouldn't you say, and I understand people are going to say, well, she doesn't think like the rest of us. Wouldn't you say her bedroom is downstairs? It's in the basement.
Because it is a basement, and it's not a finished basement where it's, has drywall up, walls, her bedroom, their bedroom. It's one big, like Dawn first said, dungeon. That's all it is. It's a dungeon. I don't even think it's a basement. But yeah, she said it's in the basement, not downstairs.
I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that the first time I heard it. And I certainly don't like it now. Where's Summer's bed? She doesn't say, oh, she sleeps downstairs. Her bedroom is downstairs. Oh, it's in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the basement.
The boys are playing where?
No, the boys are actually sitting here.
Okay.
And they're actually sitting right here at the table watching TV.
Okay, so they're at the table.
Yeah.
She does change that later. She said they were sitting here at the table watching TV. Now look at that. There's just shit everywhere. Later, she says they were sitting in the floor playing video games. There's just.
And then there was Minecraft at one point.
I never heard Minecraft.
Yeah, I think I heard Minecraft. I've heard all kinds of things.
I heard something about they were watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But I mean, when little things like that change, there's something wrong.
Yes.
Watching TV. Okay.
They were all locked in. Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out.
Okay.
Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out. Then how did Summer get out?
Exactly.
They're all locked in. Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out. Okay, hang on. Larry said, yep, Minecraft was said too. Yeah, so why can't we even put together what the boys were doing? What the hell was going on at that house the afternoon of June 15th, early afternoon, that we can't even remember what the boys were doing? Now, look, if she had some sort of PTSD and she's blocked stuff out, that's one thing. But she keeps changing, adding to, and taking away. It still bothers me. Chris McDonough says, where was her bed? We listen to the phrasing. Oh, in the basement. Oh, she sleeps downstairs with us. Her bedroom is downstairs. And then we're looking, this is where the boys were watching YouTube, playing Minecraft, watching TV, whatever. And we can't even keep that straight. Nobody in, nobody out. How did the abductor, I think she forgets, and Dawn must have missed it, that she said that. How, she said they're all locked in. Nobody can get in, nobody can get out. How the hell did someone
because when you lie, you can't keep up with lies. The truth is the truth. So he missed all that. And I want to say Dawn did, and I want to say Candace said at one point the door was locked, and at one point, no, it was unlocked. But when they go to open the door, it doesn't look, basement doors are not easy to open. But who knows in this house? I don't know.
I'm just taking her at her word. She said,
right.
All locked in, nobody can get in, nobody can get out. Yet Summer was abducted from the basement that day.
Right.
We don't know if it was the basement. Nobody came in the house and went down that crawl hole, but that basement door, both her and Dawn have alluded to. But again, they say, we just heard her, nobody in, nobody out.
Thanks.
Now, who's your son up here?
That's my little sister that's missing.
Oh, that's Rose.
That's Rosie.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow. And who's the guy?
That's her ex-husband.
Wow. Do you think he had anything to do with that?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to go there.
Can't say.
How's your mom deal with that?
He just asked her, do you think he's talking about Chris Larson had anything to do with that? I don't know. We can't talk about it.
It almost sounded like, I don't know, and I don't care.
Oh, I think you're exactly right.
I don't know. Then I don't care. Yeah.
Brushed that shit off real quick.
And real quick, Brooks, let's say this was a complete stranger. Let's say they did get in the house, not through the basement. Could you find the stairway to the basement? Would you even be able to find it?
How exactly? Let's just say that the boys were so in tune to their video game, movie, YouTube, whatever, that they happened to not see a perfect stranger walk in the house. How the hell would they know how to get down there in the first place? It'd have to be somebody familiar with the property that they all trusted.
Right. Or they're just used to people coming in and out all the time.
Yeah, there's no complete stranger here. And
right.
That they always allude to the basement door, even though nobody can get in, nobody can get out. Then I go back to what Jeff Bobo said to Dawn. Why would someone blindly go into the holler and pick your house and know you guys are home and that Summer is by herself in that basement? It makes
no sense. But not knowing that she was, it doesn't make sense and it doesn't fit. It never has. It just never has.
Well, Cat's Eye said BS. They left the basement door open. That door was wide open. That's why I'm so glad we're doing this, because something happened at that house on the 15th.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I know. I know, right? So, okay, watching TV, where's Summer?
Summer, she was with me.
Okay, so walk me through that.
All right, well, we walked up in here and we got Josie, Wyatt, and Waylon, the boys.
Right.
Well,
You put the groceries down, right?
Yeah, well, we went back out and then we brought the groceries and put them down. And then Mom, she went took her stuff to her house, put her stuff away.
Okay.
And then, of course, me and Summer went back over, put our stuff away.
Okay. You went back in.
Yeah, me and Summer went back in the house. And then we were just doing normal stuff.
Okay.
Around the house like we normally do. And I come out, Mom was sitting there at the time I come out, and I'm standing here.
I really wish, and of course, Chris has a method to his madness. I wish Chris would have asked her, we were just doing normal stuff like we do around the house. What are those normal things?
Right.
I would love for her to have answered that, because what she's describing here could happen in 15 minutes. You know, took a couple of jugs of milk if they existed. I don't think they existed that day. The boys are sitting there watching TV. So now we're just doing normal things. What are normal things for them in the afternoon after all that running around that morning? Especially if Summer is used to sleeping till noon, yet she was awoken at 7:30 that morning. Wouldn't she be ready for a nap? It would have made sense to me if she said, I took her down to the basement and I laid her down because she had gotten up early that day. That would have made sense to me. It truly would have. Well, we were
right.
I had to get something for everyone to eat. That would have made sense to me. But she sums everything up that would make sense as in, well, what I just described. She just says just normal things like we normally do. I really wish he would have asked her, but like I said, he does things obviously different than I do.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? What are you staring at? She's like, these plants, I gotta get them transplanted. I was like, well, Summer will help us. So I went back in. By that time, she was sitting on the floor playing with her toys.
Right here?
No, in the kitchen where we were just at.
Okay.
She was actually sitting on the floor playing with the toys at that time. I said, Summer, you want to help plant flowers? And she jumped up, left her toys and us, of course. That's cool.
Yeah,
Then we walked
that's
over
what kids do. It's their job.
What?
Hey?
We walked over here and
Hang on. Big T said to back it up. Where do I back it up to, Big T? What did we miss?
I don't know, but I don't like transporting cactus. That right there just eats me up.
As normal things. Think about that. We were just doing normal things. I asked her if she wanted to plant flowers. Well, we're talking about succulents, and she jumped right up. Let's not forget, she's already told us that sometimes Summer would sleep till 9, 10, sometimes noon. So she was already awoken out of her sleep schedule, but now she's got the energy of a tribe of elephants. You know, she's ready to go. She jumped out of the truck like nothing. She said, like nothing. So normal things, we transplant succulents. That's a normal day.
And they had to do it right that day. Oh, we had to do it. We had to transport them or transplant them. They look like they've been there. They look like the rocks had been there. I saw a weed growing out of there. I think we all know that the flowers, cacti, succulents, it's all BS. Little stupid stuff we didn't need to know.
Michaela said, you're exactly right. She said, Dawn said the basement door was unlocked, but Candace can't seem to remember. So who informed Dawn of this? See, this is a really important question. Who is telling Dawn what went on that day? Because he has repeated what he knows, supposedly, when he supposedly wasn't there. Even though he slipped to Brian Enton on News Nation and said, maybe we weren't paying attention. Maybe we weren't paying attention. She says, was the door open or closed? Because would an abductor take the time to close the door? Hell no. They'd be getting the hell out of Dodge.
Exactly.
They'd be getting the hell out of Dodge. That's a huge red flag.
And the we's and the we comment, even from Grandis, that drives me insane. Who are we? Who are they? You know?
Little too vague for me, considering the gravity of the situation and the day we're talking about.
We
Exactly.
transplanted these cactuses from the little pots that they were in. We transplanted these ones here into this bigger pot and that one into that bigger pot. And then she took the rocks that we've gotten from different gem mines when we went up to Gatlinburg and stuff.
Okay.
And she's the one that spreaded all the rocks around in here. And then she put her puppies in here. She wanted Chase in there, you know.
Okay.
That was cool.
Where are those puppies now?
What do you mean?
Oh, the little
The
puppies
little,
from ruins.
yeah, these little.
Oh yeah, those little guys. Oh, that's Paw Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the police one.
Yep, that's Chase. He's always on the case.
Okay. Okay.
She's such an idiot. No, I don't believe for a minute that Summer was decorating the pot up and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
It did not happen that day.
That happened afterwards.
If it happened at all, it looked to me like
Right.
that pot had been sitting there for months, if not years. Succulents.
Well, I
grow-
meant the Paw Patrol
oh yeah,
happened, I believe, afterwards. Yeah.
or her ass put it there just to try to look like it. You know, who knows?
Hey.
Right. Just
See
like the
another one
wolf.
over here.
She put it in there. Yep.
All right, hang on. Big T saw something. She's backstage. Big T, where'd you want me to back it up to? You look beautiful this morning.
Hey,
Oh,
Big
God.
T. Hey, you guys are great. No, when Chris and Candace was inside their house and she said, there's Josie, Waylon, and Wyatt. And she says, and the boys. Were there more people
Ooh.
there?
I did not catch that.
I didn't
Mhm.
either.
And then she talks about how Summer was on the floor playing, which we know was bullshit.
Now, when did she say Summer was on the floor playing? Because I heard her say that the boys.
Right before they walked out.
Okay, Blue said
Yeah.
boys. Yes, good catch. Wow. Okay.
I
Let's,
thought they were like, because I just think that a lot of their verbiage is off of songs and off just for her to remember. I don't know, but it sounds like the Waylon Jennings songs. It was weird. I said, I just think they use a bunch of stuff for confusion. I've always said that in the beginning. So they just use whatever they can to confuse everybody. It's all about confusion. It's like a magic trick. They're doing something over here, you know, look over here while they doing something, you know, behind the door or something. Is a mess. But no, she goes to explain about the groceries and everything that they had, and then she goes, Josie, Wyatt, and Waylon, and the boys.
and the
Well,
boys.
that's a song.
Always diverting. You're right. Always diverting. And like Dina said, we did stuff. And then she says,
Yeah.
just normal stuff, normal stuff. I would
Beg,
just love for him to say, well, what's normal stuff? Take me through your day. But obviously he had her on a different track and very smart to stay on that one. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
mhm.
Lou. Ridiculous detail. It
Yeah.
still bothers me that, you know, they pull up and she goes, and she jumped out like nothing. Why would you have to put that extra in there? He didn't ask if she was asleep, awake. Was she full of energy? Was she tired? He wouldn't. She jumped up like it was nothing. Well, what was it?
Yeah. You don't wake up a child out of a dead sleep and they're bouncing off the walls. No. I mean, if it'll give them a few minutes and they will be bouncing off the walls. I mean, my kids did. And they're ADHD. Because when they get to sleep, they knock down hard.
I would think after all the Skittles, the slushy and everything, she'd be so sugared up, she would have jumped out like it was nothing. I just don't know why Candace has to let us know there was nothing wrong with her.
Right, exactly. It's an excuse. I don't know. That's the way they think a 5-year-old should react. But it's not. Every child is different. But when kids get a chance to sleep, they sleep hard if they play hard.
which would make sense to me. She had been swimming. She was asleep in the truck. We had to wake her up. She jumped up like nothing.
No, don't believe it.
You're exactly right.
I don't think there was no jumping, no nothing. I don't think there was a Summer.
Now, why do you think Summer didn't make it back to the property? For some reason, I think she did. Like I said, I want to hear everybody's opinions.
Right. Well, I do take in that that she didn't make it back to the house. The thing about that is, how long is that drive home? And then where? We don't know the area, right? Now we know Muscles and Mascara knows the area a little bit.
Yeah, we have several locals in here that have said it's about 30 minutes if they drove it straight.
Okay, they drove it straight, but there's got to be woods, there got to be something. And then you talk about how that, thank you, darling, how they moved her. That's a possibility. I'm not nailing that down. That's just a thought.
Oh, there's nothing.
But yeah, maybe they did. Maybe they did, just, I'll put her right here, and then I got to figure out what's going on, how to do this, and man, yeah, I'd love to see those phone records.
Me too. Rainy Cat Hikes. Love that name. Welcome. We have a lot of new names in here, guys. Take a second, hit the sub button, give it a like. This is so true. And we discussed this on the show, last, I think, August. We said this interview, now there's a lot of truth in this. Don't get me wrong. This is a very important interview. That's the reason we're doing it in 2 parts. We talked about it on the channel last August, September, and we said, this is Candace answering to what she's been listening to on YouTube and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying
I
what
agree.
People want to hear. Even when Candace would reassure everyone, I don't pay attention to that stuff. We know her and Dawn do because their answers would change to fit the narrative of what was in the air at the time.
You're on the camera.
Okay, don't take those out, okay?
No, I leave them right there.
I know.
Then we went in my mom's room. We can't get in there.
Yeah, that's fine. Went in
We
there.
went in there and got.
Okay, so when Chris says don't take those out of there, I don't think it's because he's a cactus lover.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's telling her, just don't disrupt that because you're saying that was done that day. Oh no, let's listen to that again.
Gotta get them transplanted. I was like, well, someone will help us. So I went back in. By that time, she was sitting on the floor playing with her toys.
I counted 3, 4, 5, maybe succulents you just stick down in the dirt. Why do you need Summer to help you? You guys make it sound like you're transplanting a palm tree.
Right here?
No, in the kitchen where we were just at.
Okay.
She was actually sitting on the floor playing with the toys at that time. I said, Summer, you want to help plant flowers? And she jumped
Yeah,
up,
here you go.
left her toys in a mess. Of course. That's cool.
She said she left the toys in a mess. Of course, that's cool. Now, I don't think messes irritate Candace, but she makes sure to let us know that Summer left a mess. Now, how can Summer leave a mess? The whole house is a nightmare.
True. That's what I said. I was like, Chris is just taking a picture of all the trash in the yard.
And she left a mess, but that's cool. I don't think her 5 toys in the floor created the mess, Candace.
No. And when she says that's cool, she's actually saying it to herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with what I just said. Yeah, I did good on that.
You're awesome, Big T. Let's hear it for Big T.
I tried.
Well, that's what kids do. It's their job.
What?
And he's sitting there saying he's picking up on what she said, how Summer left a mess, and that's cool. He's like, well, that's what kids do. Kids leave a mess. Look around.
She turned around and see another mess.
What's this right here? What's this right here? This right here's a mess.
Okay?
You walked over here and we transplanted these cactuses from the little pots that they were in. We transplanted these ones here into this bigger pot and that one into that bigger pot. And then she took the rocks that we've gotten from different gem
Who is
mines
she?
and went up to Gallenberg and stuff.
Okay.
And she's the one that spreaded all the rocks around in here.
Is she Summer or she Grandis? I'm going to assume Summer.
Right. Because you're not going to put grandma in on it. Yep.
And then she put her puppies in here. She wanted Chase in there, you know.
Okay.
That was cool.
Where
She put her puppies in there.
Her puppy. Yeah.
She didn't have
Yeah.
toys to play with. Why would she put her toys in the cactus? Why would she? She did not have an abundance of things to keep her occupied and busy. Why would she take what little bit she had to play with and put it in the damn cactus pot?
are those puppies now?
What do you mean?
Oh, the little puppies,
The
so
little, yeah,
ruined.
these little.
Oh yeah, those little guys. Oh, that's Paw Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the police one.
Yep, that's Chase. He's always on the case.
Okay. Okay.
And we went
Oh,
in
I see another one over
there.
here.
She put them in there. Yep, you're on the cactus.
Okay. Don't take those out, okay?
No, I leave them right
Yeah,
there.
don't fucking touch them.
Then we went in my mom's wood. We can't get in there.
Yeah, that's
By
Don't
now,
even touch that too.
don't touch anything there. But when Robin gave her speech at Christmas time at the church, and she was talking about Summer's toys and how they had to clean all the dirt out of them and stuff, I have a feeling, even though she was told don't touch him, leave that right there, I don't think he cares about the memorial, the sentiment, the cactus, or the toys. I think he was just saying, leave that right there. I have a feeling what they were having to scrub all the dirt and everything off of probably came out of that pot.
Or the yard.
Mhm.
Or the house. It
Yep.
wasn't clean.
Well, we're talking about the Paw Patrol that are in the pot. And when
Oh,
Robin
yeah.
about how they had Summer's toys and they
That
had
was
to clean all the
staged, yeah.
dirt off. And I was like, why are all these kids cleaning dirt off of Summer's toys? Why were they brought there donated dirty? Why are they not at her house in the first place? I'm thinking they're the ones from the pot. Happy Haggis said DNA in the toys.
There you go.
He said, don't touch them.
fine. Went in
We
there.
went in there and got some candy and stuff. She gets some grandma.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to go back over to the house. She wanted to go back, so I figured I'd go back, you know.
Okay.
And I brought her, I literally walked over to here. Like, literally walked right to here where I could see the boys and on the kitchen table.
Got him.
And I watched her walk in there. And afterwards, when she was already in there, I walked over and I said, why? And he looked at me and I said, watch Sissy, I'll be right back. And that's when I walked back over to my mom's.
Okay.
Okay, so the holding her hand all the way to the porch, like she said in another interview, to make sure she got inside. But she walked her that far so she could see the boys, yells at one of the boys and says, watch, she said, watch Sissy. Really,
Which I don't understand because Wyatt is the youngest.
maybe it's just the one that she saw first.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I always wondered about that. Why would you ask the youngest one to watch? But then again, they were raised to watch each other because they don't do the parenting.
She's not the picture of responsibility.
Mm-mm.
It's a wonder she told anybody to watch Summer. It does break my heart she called her Sissy. Watch Sissy.
Mm.
That's the only humanization I've ever heard from Candace in regards to Summer.
No, that's because she loves her boys. I know that aspect.
Well, I mean, for her to refer to Summer with a nickname, that always kind of took me aback. That's the only time I've ever heard her humanize Summer.
And I was fixing her brace and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I said, well, Mom, I got to go back over with the kids. And that's when I come back up into the house
Okay.
with the boys.
Okay.
With the boys?
She keeps saying with the boys, because the boys are in the house. Okay, this is what bothers me. So she goes back over to Grandis. Then she said, I go back over to the house with the boys. She mentions the boys over and over and over as if that is her eyewitness, that this is what happened.
Right.
He has to mention them and place them at the scene that afternoon because they're not going to believe Candace. She probably by this time figures out her mother's not good for anything helping with the script, but she mentions the boys, the boys, the boys, the boys.
Yep. Yeah. I don't get it.
You walked into the house.
Because the boys are her scapegoat. Those boys are going to tell in her mind exactly what she is selling.
Which is absolutely disgusting because she is making it those boys' fault. Just like down at the end of the trail, you know, I told you to watch them, you know, to watch her. It's just, yeah. If you're going to blame somebody, you got to blame the boys, not me and not my husband.
Well, I mean, look at what Don said in another interview, which we've gone over several times. And he's talking about the basement door. Well, we've told the boys to keep it locked.
Mm-hmm.
What if the boys
Yep.
weren't even there that day at all? I mean, I don't know. But the fact that she has to mention several times the boys, the boys, the boys, Grandis, and then we sent the boys to the creek. They have to make sure that everyone knows that there's 3 other witnesses besides their 2 lying asses that can back up what they're telling. I don't like them putting the boys in the storyline.
Right. No. It's no. They're not going to be responsible for anything, and they're going to throw those kids under the bus. They don't care.
No.
Well, I walked into here. Get up. I walked in here and them 3 were sitting right here in front with their eyes glued to the TV, like always.
I'll never get that either. Okay, I raised 3 boys. Now, I don't know what she's trying to convince us of. She keeps saying they were planted right here. Right here. Now, we have heard a different versions of what they were so tuned into. What was on TV? We've heard YouTube, we've heard video games, all that stuff, but they were still sitting right there. They were still, all 3 of them, planted right there. All I can think of is when she got home, either something was already wrong with Summer, or I don't know, that she told those boys, you sit right here and don't move. Because my kids would have already been fighting with each other, one off outside, one in the other room. They would not have been sitting in a row focused on one object unless they were told, sit there and don't move.
There you go. Because I know my youngest, he does not like television at all. Nope. He is an outdoor kid, and he likes to play with his GoPro, and he's now the chicken whisperer. I don't know. And my other boy, he was not like that. He watched TV and mimicked everything on the television, and I'd have to yell at him, Big T, turn the TV down, and it wasn't even on. So yeah, that was weird. But yeah, the boys are boys, yes, but they're different. Everybody has their own personality. I mean, telling my youngest to sit down and watch something is torture.
I just think it's odd because, I mean, all kids are different. Like you said, your kids are different than the Wells boys. My kids are. I'm just thinking about my 3 boys. If they're all sitting there, first of all, they wouldn't sit at a dining room table and sit there and watch, or whatever you want to call it, and watch TV. At some point, somebody would get up and move away. They'd go into another room. They'd get bored. Somebody go outside. They'd be fighting amongst each other. But she made sure to tell us they were sitting right here. I told the youngest, whichever one, watch Sissy, which still breaks my heart when she says that. Not that I'm empathizing with Candace. It's just hearing that nickname. Come back in. They're still sitting right there. All 3 boys are still sitting there. Sounds to me like they were told to sit there and don't.
Yeah.
They were told.
I agree with you on that. Yes, totally. They were told a lot of things. You know, I think they were gaslit a lot. And that's the only nicest way I can put that.
Sorry, I'm looking at a comment real quick. I missed it.
Good.
Right
This is
here.
your show.
The Real Rockin' Robin said another diversion tactic to take the focus off the adults that should be responsible for their children. putting the responsibility on the boys. Both her and Dawn did that. And then Grandis saying that how they went down to the creek. Now, I don't think Grandis was putting any responsibility on them. Dawn mentioned how he had been telling the boys to keep the door locked. That's so stupid. That's Candace's job. She's the adult at home. Candace is making sure to let us know that the boys were 100% aware of everything going on in regards to their sister that day. I don't like it. I don't like it.
No. Nope.
And I said, boys, where's your sister at? Well, she just went downstairs, Mom, to play. So I went over here like this. So this is where the stairs are.
Okay.
It's actually down under there.
Even Chris is shocked.
Oh, down into her
Down into
bedroom.
our bedroom, and then hers is on the other side.
Oh, okay, in the basement.
Yeah, in the basement.
Well, this makes sense now. See?
And then I yelled, I said, Summer, Summer. And she didn't. I listened for a minute. I didn't hear nothing. So I went like this, because this is how I always get down here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to come down here or not.
Do I got to be tiny to get in there?
No, you should
Can we come in from the other side?
Well, we can, but it make more sense if you went this way.
Okay, I'll follow you. Oh man, good grief,
No, I know
girl.
if my 6 foot husband can fit down here, you can.
Huh?
My husband's 6 foot. I know if he can fit, you can.
This. Oh my gosh. Way to go.
This is my husband's room.
Okay.
Okay, before we get to that, let's look at this comment by Lauren. Now, we had just heard Candace say Summer was in the floor playing with her toys. She tells us that she made a mess, but that was cool. She wasn't upset about the mess. I don't see Candace being upset about a mess at all, because it would take a cleaning crew, a hazmat crew, and I don't know who else to clean up the mess around there. Now she says she went downstairs to play with her toys. Okay.
Oh, and then she proves it.
I don't think she proved nothing.
Right. Well, when she comes around.
Well, it's a mess again.
That's all right.
But this is where Summer and little Waylon was, because Waylon's only 9.
Okay.
And they stayed down here. And these are all her toys, all her Paw Patrols, all
All
her.
her movies. She's got a movie about the
The
Savior.
boys I brought back down here after she went missing because I didn't want them upstairs by themselves anymore.
Okay. And this
What?
is all her toys.
I never caught that before. So she moved all the boys downstairs to sleep because she said after Summer went missing, she didn't want them upstairs by themselves anymore. This would be a very human statement if it wasn't for the fact that Summer went missing on her watch and she can't fill in the gaps for the 15th of June, 2021. But now, is she adding extra? Is she really, really keeping an eye on her son since Summer went missing? I don't think
She-
so.
Yeah, she was adding extra because she even said that Wyatt's only 9. She put that right out there. He slept down here because he's only 9. Okay. Is that because he can be in the same room with Summer? Or is she don't want him upstairs because he's only 9?
I don't know. I think it's odd that she mentions that.
Mm-hmm. I do.
They're all sleeping in the basement together. Her, Dawn, Summer, the youngest son.
Yeah. Yeah. That terrible mattress. Yes.
And personally, I'm with Real Rock and Robin. Why would you move all the boys downstairs where the abduction occurred? I would think everybody would be upstairs.
Yeah. Yep.
Toys.
Remember all her toys, all these toys that are down here are all hers, except for like the trucks and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the game system. That's the boys'.
Okay.
But them are all her toys.
And she's really into Paw Patrol. I see that.
Yeah, I've been collecting from day one. And these are all her little ponies that we've bought. And then these are them girls that she likes. Them new fashion, I don't know what they are, little princesses or whatever. She's like all kinds. Here's one of them bracelets.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
one of
you
them
probably bought
what
it
do they call these?
yesterday.
Oh, this is a little pony bracelets.
Yeah, I don't know what they
Yeah.
were really called, but she liked them, and so I just Every time I go to the garage sale, I'd buy her what she wanted.
Okay.
You know, if I got a little bit of money, I spend it on the kids.
Yeah, this is her. This is
I still cannot believe she said that to Chris. When I get a little bit of money, I spend it on the kids. Yet we have seen their behavior that, hell, they've got plenty of money to drink and smoke and do their drugs. And you basically have, I mean, she's like, and I go to a garage sale, which, hey, I've got no problem with garage sales, love garage sales. When I get a little bit of money, I spend it on the kids. It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it.
I understand her now.
Go ahead. Sorry, Big T.
No, you're fine. And Chris McDonough also, I remember he said, don't think that these people are broke. What Dawn does brings in a lot of money.
They're not broke. Poor people don't
Nope.
inherit land. Poor people have nothing to hand down to each other. They have land. They have a house. Whether they want to fix it up or not, that's their lazy ass ways.
But it's cheap too. It's cheap.
Bethy Cakes. Hey, Bethy Cakes, I haven't seen you in Discord in forever. Do you need another link? She said, if the boys were playing games upstairs, why is the game system downstairs? See, she had to have forgotten that because that's when it changed to they were watching TV. Then Dawn added they were watching YouTube. Never a specific with these people. Never, ever.
Nope.
Yeah.
Even better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is really important.
Yeah, I come down and I searched. I looked up underneath the beds under there. We can't really get on. I can't get on there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I looked under there, looked under every blanket I could possibly look under.
Yep.
Listen to Chris. Yep. She's trying to explain to him the abduction more. See, and he's not asking her anything about it. He's not interested in it. Like in the beginning of his interview with her, and she's talking about people that were around the property doing work. And I thought one of them could have taken her. He doesn't ask her any detail about it. He doesn't ask her, where down here were you searching for Summer? She starts volunteering it. Listen. And he's just like, yep. He doesn't ask her, how long were you down here searching? What did you look under? She's trying to explain it. And he's just like, no, I'm not biting into this one.
I don't know what they were really called, but she liked them. And so I just, every time I go to the garage sale, I'd buy her what she wanted.
Okay.
You know, if I got a little bit of money, I spend it on the kids.
Yeah, this is her. I understand her now.
Yeah.
Even better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That made me cry when I actually catch it the first time that I watched this. But when he said, I understand her better now. Thank you. So now she tries to explain more, but I think he's kind of so taken aback. He wasn't going to buy the abduction anyway, but he's just like, yep.
This is really important.
Yeah, I come down and I searched. I looked up underneath the beds under there. We can't.
See, now she's talking really, really, really fast. I searched up under the beds. I looked underneath the beds. And he's not like, okay, really?
I can't get on there.
Yeah.
But I looked under there, looked under every blanket I could possibly look under.
Yep.
And then I come over here and I look on one side and see everywhere. And I don't recall if this was locked or not. I don't recall that.
Okay.
But
I don't recall if this was locked or not. Now, on this particular day, it's wide open, as we can see. Okay? They just came back. She just has brought him from the swim hole where she just did an interview. So it's obviously been open all afternoon, unless we missed something earlier. Could happen. She just told him the boys were upstairs at the table. Everybody was locked in. She never mentions unlocking a door to go back in. Nobody in, nobody out. Now she says, I don't recall that day. I don't recall.
it's hard on her. But I know I did come out there and said, Summer. Because sometimes she'll sit right here and just sit here and play just for, And usually when she comes out and she goes directly that way up to the swing.
Oh, okay, so this is like her.
Yeah,
where she come running out. Oh, yeah, you can see the path here.
Right to the swing.
Right, you can see where she could have run right up to
and
here.
this is all the further she would go. She wouldn't leave.
Okay.
She wouldn't go out nowhere else.
Okay. I want to go around this side. What is this blue thing here?
Oh, that was we were putting trash in it.
Okay.
And we did have a trash man at the time, but he stopped running.
Oh, wow.
I got lost this.
Okay.
Because they weren't paying him. We had a trash man at the time, but he stopped coming. Yeah, when you stop paying people, they stop doing work for you. So I'm going to pause it right here, and we're going to continue it for part 2. When she says, of course, we've talked about it before, but it's really ringing a different bell with me now. Nobody in, nobody out. But then she tells Chris, I don't remember if it was open that day or not. Had she ever approached the door? Did she check the door? Did she do anything? What would there be to remember? If she locked it when they were leaving that morning, wouldn't it be locked when she came home?
Yep.
They're all locked in, nobody in, nobody out. And then she says, I don't remember if the door was locked or not.
Well, that's the rules. That doesn't mean they follow them.
I don't think it is the rules, because even Dawn said we told the boys over and over to keep this door locked. Now, why would they just, I mean, like they were on shift or something? I'll got to make sure that door's locked. Why is that door important? There's another door right there where 3 boys were sitting, who I think has been left alone probably all day long. So when people say, oh, they took Summer because they had a drug debt. Well, there was 3 boys sitting there by themselves for a majority of the day.
Right. I know that when I used to work in a spa, we would have a special door for well-known people in the area, so people wouldn't know their business. And that door reminds me of that. That's a back door for a VIP.
Well, and I mean, I know when I lived out in the country, it wasn't really a big deal to keep doors locked. I didn't really think about it. I walked in the door. I got to make sure this is locked. So why was she saying that day, nobody in, nobody out, but then she tells Chris later, I don't remember if this door was locked?
Because she is not a helicopter mom. They do not have rules, but in their own mind, they put together what sounds natural to anybody else. They put this whole thing together, this whole story, and they believe their lies.
I really hope they don't believe their lies, because they keep changing them. She changes versions just talking to him. I think the reason, this is just me, my opinion, I think the reason that she says, I don't remember if the door was locked that day or not. She was already telling him, I looked under blankets, I did this, I did that. He didn't ask her that, and he didn't ask her any detail about it at all. He left that totally alone, just like when she was saying she thought one of the people that were working around there could have taken Summer. He didn't even ask her any detail about that. She was afraid he was going to ask her, was this door locked? So she stopped right there and she said, I don't remember if it was locked or not. He didn't ask her if the door was locked.
No, but she was trying to get in front of everything. That's what she was trying to do. And so she would just make it up as she goes along. You know, this makes sense, that makes sense. But the thing is, no, at the end of the day, the dots are not connecting at all. So
Pat said no locked doors because that's what the dogs are for, but the dogs weren't there that day, according to Dawn. I will never understand how Dawn knows so much shit
without being there.
Without being there. I've never understood that. I'll never understand that. But no, I think you're right. She makes it up as she goes along. And then going back to another comment that we had earlier in the show, that she's responding to what she's been hearing on Facebook and YouTube. So she knows what people are questioning. She knows at this point what people doubt. So that's what she's trying to fill in. That's not the big questions.
Right.
When she said we were just doing normal things that day, she never mentions, had to eat. She was asked at the swim hole by Chris, did you guys get anything to eat? No, we got to feed our kids.
Yeah. What time did they supposedly get back? Wow. She never mentions we had breakfast. then I got mom in the car, because remember, if she took her down to the pond because her knee was hurting so bad, well, don't you think she would have helped her from her little camper to the truck?
That's funny.
Never mentions that.
She never mentions having to help Grandis get out of the truck with
Mhm.
her knee. Now, she tries to place her mom at the horse pond as much as possible, even though Grandis blew that out of the water. We don't believe that
Right.
Grandis was ever at the pond. She's
Right.
not on the video. Grandis herself said, I think she went swimming. She didn't say we all took her swimming. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. No, but
It's-
H did say they were over there looking at flowers.
And that's always going to confuse me, how he places her there. Candace places her there. Candace is taking the video, panning around, has Summer in the video. You see Hunter, no Grandis, and Grandis does not place herself at the horse pond, and she knows that's a very major event of the day. I also think about how Candace made a special trip on the 17th over to Allie's house to make sure they weren't cooperating with the TBI, because that's 100% what that visit was for. That better have been all you told them, is what she said.
I think that was a deeper discussion. This is how we're going to play this. Da 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 da. I think that's what that was.
Nope, Candace is covering for herself. Her mother's not backing her up, because at the horse pond, which we didn't watch that today, we'll go over that again another day, when he's asking about the twisted tea, she's already on guard. That would be the least of my worries. The least of my worries. I mean, with all of this, come on. If my mother was here, she would tell you that tea was for her. But when your mother gives her interview many months later, she doesn't even place herself at the pond, period. How's she going to be drinking the tea at a pond she was never at, Candace? They didn't think this through. That's obvious. Well, Big T, I'm going to start winding this down. We're going to get to part 2 probably on Friday. We have 2 shows tomorrow. This is a big treat having you come up. You've never been on panel.
No, I never have. I'm
A
so
big
sorry.
round of applause for Big T. It was awesome having you up here and talking to you.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Brooks. I love you for all that you do. You work your butt off.
Girlfriend, we all are in the good fight.
Yes. This
All right,
is
I'll
true.
see you over in Discord in a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
Take this down. I was looking at a comment. Hang on. Sandy says, Candace is the product of Grandis. She doesn't know any better. It's how she's raised. I agree. She is definitely her mother's child. Not knowing better with your own children, I have never been ready to give her that pass. Just never been ready to give her that pass. So I hope everybody has a great Wednesday. I'm going to be heading out of here in a little bit, but I will be in and out of Discord, or I'll see you guys in the Facebook group. And check your notifications, hit the bell or whatever, because we have 2 shows tomorrow. We're going to be going over Michael Vaughn again, and we're going to be talking about Chase Vinstra's hearing today in the case of Dylan Rounds. And then, of course, stay tuned, because we're going to have part 2 of Don't Leave the House. We're going to continue talking about the house, what went on at the house. So you guys, thanks for being so awesome. Thanks for being the best chat and best community on YouTube. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.